No, Rashida, we haven't misunderstood you. My name is Chaim Moshe Bergstein. I am 72, almost 73 years old. I was born after the Holocaust to a Holocaust survivor by the name of Jacob Bergstein. My father read Mein Kampf when he was 14 years old in 1937. Because of this, when the Nazis entered his city of Krasnobrod and started murdering people, he knew what was coming, and he looked for a way to escape. When the Russians split Poland, took over the city, and then subsequently moved away, my father evacuated with the Russians. Not because the Russians were righteous. They were evil. Joe Stalin was a murderer. But at that time, Joe Stalin wasn't trying to kill all the Jews. That would come later. But Hitler was about killing Jews right then. My father ran away with his brother and caused his parents to come with him, thereby saving them. There was another brother who was murdered in a ghetto in 1941 or 42. But the rest of the family survived. There were over 100 members of the family who survived because my father understood Hitler. He understood him. Didn't agree with him, obviously, but understood that Hitler wanted to kill Jews. When you say you're calmed by the Holocaust, that's a pregnant word. You're calmed by what? That the Palestinians gave the Jews a place? They didn't give them a place. That's bullcrap. You wanted to kill out all the Jews, your ancestors and your cousins, not yourself. So when you say you're calmed about the Holocaust, it can only mean one thing. It doesn't bother you. You enjoyed it because that brings you comfort that the Jews, the accursed Jews, the kafirim, those who deny Muhammad and Allah, those Jews also got theirs. So there was divine retribution for those who took over your land. That's what you really mean. But you're too political to admit that. A person is judged not by the way he speaks when he wants to make a good impression, but when he's confused, when he's angry, he's agitated, and also by how generous he is or she is, and to whom he gives money to. We know for sure that no money is coming from you to Israel. We also know where your sympathies lie. Your sympathies lie with your grandmother. I can understand that. But I also understand what you meant, that the Holocaust brings you comfort. That can only mean one thing. You're happy that it happened. Unhappy that it didn't get the rest of us. So let me give you a little warning. The Bible was written 1800 years before Muhammad walked the earth. The Quran is a document of faith and belief. There are some very profound lessons there. But inevitably, whenever the Torah is discussed, whenever the 5 books of Moses are mentioned, There are multiple errors in the quotation. That's because Muhammad never read the Torah inside. He heard speeches about the Torah. He might have had a scholar teaching him some of the secrets of the Torah, but not the book itself, not the details of the book. You can explain it all you want, but that's the reality. The reality is that our book is 1,800 years older than yours, and it says things that doesn't say in your book. But Abraham, our common ancestor, was told, those who bless you will be blessed, and those who curse you will not be blessed, will get the opposite of blessing. You have to look at history. History is that whenever tragedy befell the Jewish people, a renewal comes after that. During that period of renewal, Jewish people are at their highest. When they are persecuted, then they fall to their lowest level. At this point in history, the Jews are rising. There are more Jews in Israel than ever before. Jewish success in science, technology, industry, and not just that, in the spiritual world. There are more students of the Bible and of the Jewish oral law than ever before, writing things that nobody ever dreamed of 100, 200, 1,000 years ago. That means that at this point, the Jews are on the rise. So that's your choice. Those times when Jews are on the rise, those that bless us will become blessed. Those that curse us, the opposite of blessing will take place. That's your choice. There are no other choices that God gives. There's no indifference. You've begun to make your bed. I'm just a little rabbi, a little neighborhood a few miles away from yours. If you want to be blessed, you will stop what you're doing and become a little bit introspective and stop talking this way. But I suspect that you see this as your opportunity to stomp on those people who you believe have wronged your grandmother. You didn't wrong your grandmother. I'm not going to argue this on videos. God gave the land of Israel to the children of Jacob, not to the children of Ishmael. That's clear, and the Quran acknowledges that as well. When the Jewish people came back, jobs were available, and thousands of Muslims came to work because there were jobs available. That's why there were many tens of thousands of more people living in Israel at the end of the 19th century, hundreds of thousands more at the beginning of the 20th century, because there was an influx of Jews, and there was expansion, and there was economic opportunity. Most of the Arabs who were indigenous were the minority. But the Jewish people came back, the land started blossoming. Up until then, the land was desolate. Nobody really cared about it. So, if you don't see the hand of God there, I can't help you. Be forewarned. The Jewish people have come back to their land, their holy land, the only land that they were promised. Not only did you try to take it away from them, you tried to kill out those who came back. You weren't successful. Maybe it's time to reconsider, because the Jewish people are not interested in war, they're interested in peace. And peace would benefit everybody, including your grandmother's memory, and her relatives. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's your agenda. And that agenda will fail. No matter how loud the BDS movement will be, Israel will prosper. And Israel will not need those people who will be stamping their feet at BDS. You can make a lot of noise, but at the end of the day, you're going to need Israeli chips on your cell phone. And if God forbid you get sick, you're going to need Israeli medicines to cure your cancers. And in the Middle East, you're going to need Israeli technology to get you fresh drinking water. That's your choice. Get on the bandwagon or the opposite of blessing.